Good morning, you guys. I am so sorry that this technical difficulties with YouTube is really throwing a wrench into my live webinar. So it's not going to be live, but I'm doing a screen recording right now, and I'm going to be it's going to be uploaded for you, so you're able to access this. But I do not know why YouTube Live. I verified my account like earlier this week, and it is not allowing me to go live. It's just kind of stuck. And I got with maintenance yesterday in YouTube. It wasn't working. It wasn't, and then I came on here again. They said it'd be working. I checked last night, still wasn't. Checked again early this morning at 6, and it wasn't working again. But whatever, I'm doing a screen recording now, and this is going to be uploaded for you. I want you to get this material because it is amazing. So we are going to get started with my live webinar. It's going to be on the screen on the PowerPoint slides, which is not my favorite thing because you can't see me, but it is what it is. My advice for you is you can do whatever you want on this webinar, but I would highly recommend, if you paid attention, had a notepad, a notebook, or whatever it is, so that you can write down what I'm about to tell you, because it is super valuable, and I believe that if you apply this into your business, it could be a game changer for getting online sales. Okay, so we're going to get started. I'm going to go away. It's going to go to the PowerPoint. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or go into the live Facebook group that I have. You can join and ask questions in there. I wish this was live, but it is just not cooperating with me today. So here we go. We're going to go into my training. This is a training I gave very similar into Chicago. And we're going to go right from the start. So here we go. How to create content that sells and gets you noticed online, okay? This is one of my biggest passions as of late, as well as for the past 4 years. I love helping people create content for their business that helps them sell more online and get noticed. So for those of you who do not know me, which there is quite a few of you, I'm excited to say there's people from all over Europe, Australia, and North America here, so I'm so excited. I can't believe that I have such an amazing reach and such an amazing community of people, but I'm so glad you're here. So for those of you who don't know me, as you can see, I grew up on a ranch in Alberta, Canada. To kind of put it into perspective, the closest grocery store to me is 45 minutes. The closest neighbor is around 10 minutes. And in my grade 10 class, I was the only person in my class. So that just gives you a little bit of an idea of the isolation that I lived in. But I loved it. It's amazing. It's allowed me to be who I am today. I grew up with an amazing family, as you can see, 2 awesome parents and 4 amazing sisters. And I just recently graduated university. I just got my business degree in marketing and entrepreneurship, and I just graduated in April. But the reason I bring this up to you is because if someone like me who grew up in the middle of nowhere, or as some people like to say it, in the center of everywhere, whatever it is, but if someone can grow where I grew up, in my conditions and where I grew up, can create a global brand that expands all around the world, I believe that you can too. And it just takes a few simple steps and a lot of hard work, but it is definitely all possible. So how did my business get started? Okay, so here are some photos. I've actually been fortunate enough to travel all around North America and Europe, working with over 250 clients. And what my business started out as was personal branding, photography, and videography. So for those of you who are kind of new to this space, I help people create a personal brand that people fall in love with online, that people want to work with. So when they see your page, they see your Facebook post, they want to click on it, and they actually start engaging in your content. So I've worked the last 4 years helping entrepreneurs create that kind of clickable content and that branding, so they're able to get visible and be fully confident in getting visible online. So I found, though, that I would help people create their personal brand, and I would help them create these amazing visuals, as you see here. But there was a missing piece that I found that there was a missing piece on how I could actually help my clients accelerate their growth and start making that 6 and 7 figures online. And what I found that to be in the past year or so was because they would have these amazing personal brands, they would have this amazing photos, but they don't know exactly how to leverage social media. So for the past 2 years, I really started studying, and I took what I studied and started implementing with my own frameworks with my clients, and the results have been amazing. I've had a client there, you can see in the top left, Charlie. He was featured in Nike. Tons of clients featured in Forbes, featured by Gary Vee, Thrive Global, and a lot of people who do TED Talks. So here's some just pictures of me and my clients from all around the world. And what I want you to kind of show you is that by creating content, all of these people are able to do exactly what they want. My friend Charlie, who is on Gary Vaynerchuk. Another amazing client of mine, Elizabeth, who, as you can see right here, she was at the Emmys with her product. Kathy, who's featured in Forbes. My amazing client, Brooke, who makes 6 figures while traveling the world. Another amazing client, Elise, who's a multi-millionaire. Another amazing client, Angela, who just did her TED Talk. But the reason I want to say, I'm showing you guys this, is because with content, these individuals were able to reach people, share their message, and get noticed online, and look where they are today. So I just wanted to show you because I believe, like I said, when you take these frameworks, these are the possibilities for you. Pretty cool, hey? So now that we understand that content can do amazing things for your business, what is it? Let's get into this training. I'm really excited for you. Have your pen and paper. You can write down, take a picture of the screen, whatever it may be. But what is content marketing? So content marketing, by definition, is relevant, valuable, and consistent messaging in order to capture an audience of people and turn that audience of people into actually paying customers. So if you kind of break it down, relevant content, so it's content people want to kind of hear about, valuable content, it brings value to them, and you're consistently sharing your message so it captures that audience, and that audience turns into a paying customer, okay? So if you can understand that, this is kind of the foundation to content marketing. First things first though, before I ever take anyone into kind of the actual content creation, we need to understand how to actually launch a business and what it kind of takes in order for you to start creating content. And this is something I created called the FVS method. The foundation, visibility, and selling. So this is a three kind of steps I believe it takes to actually take something from an idea to actually starting to make money from it, okay? So I like to call it the FVS method. You can write this down, I'm going to explain. So the foundation, if you think about it, without a foundation, anything in life, a house, relationship, whatever, a business, without a foundation, a proper foundation, it's going to crumble. So it's the same thing as a business. If you don't have a foundation, your business is going to crumble. And what is this foundation? And this is a really good thing to review for people who may already have a business or are just starting. So you kind of want to ask yourself these questions, and these are really good questions to write down. Even though I already have my business and my niche, I constantly look back at these every month. What problem am I solving? What desire am I fulfilling? What is my niche? Who am I selling to? Who will buy? What is my unfair advantage? And a lot of you I know on here are going to be service providers. What are your processes and methods that allow people to actually solve their problems? So if you can start asking yourself these questions and having a super clarity, because you can understand what problem you're solving, who you're going to start actually selling to, which will allow you to get visible. So if you do not have foundation yet, really deep dive into this, okay? Because it can do amazing things for your business. All right, so now because we have an amazing foundation, now it's time to get visible. So this is where you show up on social. This is how you start leveraging social platforms to actually start creating a hype around your business, a hype around your product or your service offer. So this is getting visible on social platforms. There's tons of different strategies. We will not be going over these today because it would be 10-hour long webinar, but you can start deciding where your target customer is hanging out. Is it Instagram? Is it Google, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook? Whatever it is, how can you start leveraging those social platforms to share your message, share your product, and share your service, which will then allow you to sell your offer. So you have your foundation, you get visible. Now you can start offering your product and sell your offer. Amazing, hey? It's it's complicated, but it can also be broken down into those 3 little steps. And if you can kind of start seeing as every offer or your business in those 3 steps, it makes it super, super easy to actually start mapping out. So, but before we kind of we understand kind of the methods and the phases and the steps of actually starting a business, we want to start understanding, how do customers start buying from us? And this is what some of you might have seen this before. Some of you, this might be completely new, but this is what you like to call in the marketing world the buyer's journey. How people become aware of you to actually showing you their money, opening their wallets, and actually buying from you. And this is also known as a funnel. For some of you, that might be kind of scary and daunting, but I think it can be broken down into 3 simple steps. People become aware of you, they evaluate you, and then they show you the money, they open their wallet, and they want to work with you, they want to buy your product. So we need to kind of start understanding where people are, as well as where people get hung up in this kind of funnel. Because if you can understand that, you can start converting higher, and you can start creating content. You can start putting offers out there that actually moves people down the funnel. And if they're kind of stuck in the funnel, maybe at evaluation, you can kind of start evaluating of, okay, why aren't people buying? So really important to kind of start understanding this funnel. So we kind of know how to launch a business. We understand sort of the buyer's journey. That was just a really quick overview, but if you can understand those 3 things, I think this will help. Next, this is where we're going to get into the content training, okay? And this is what I like to call the ACE framework. The ACE framework is the types of content you need to be sharing in your business to start attracting leads to you. And I'm all about the attraction marketing. I believe your content is attraction marketing, okay? And what attraction marketing is having people message you for your product, having people reach out to you. So you're constantly have eyes on your business because you're putting content out there, and then people reach out to you because they're interested, because you use this ACE framework. So what is the ACE framework? Step 1, attract. This is where you educate people. This is where you start teaching and educating people about your products, your service, what are the benefits, why they should be using it. For those of you who have maybe an online business, maybe a product or a service, I've been talking to a lot of people who do mortgage broking, real estate. This is where you can start educating people on how, for example, if you're a real estate agent, how things to consider when buying your homes. Five things to consider when buying your first home. If I'm buying my first home, I want to click on that and kind of start understanding what I need to know to buy a home. So that it just shows you the power. Or if you're a coach or a consultant, for example, today I'm teaching you how to create content that sells. So people are interested because they want to sell more, so they click on it. And this is how you get people discovering you, because you're educating them on certain things around your product or your service, which allows them to start becoming very interested. And this is where you get people in the awareness phase of that funnel, okay? Because once you get them aware of you, you can start moving them down the funnel. And education content, with especially paired with things that can be entertaining, so people click on it because they're like excited to click on it, or they're really interested in the topic, the education, the teaching content that you're sharing, they'll click on it. And then that's how you can start collecting email for your email list, or whatever else it may be, or driving them to your offer or to other types of content. So you can do this through a bunch of different ways: freebies, Facebook Live, social media posts. Those are just examples, but that's how you can start utilizing education content to make people more aware of what you are, who you are, and what you're selling. Okay? Next, we want to influence people. This is where people start evaluating. They kind of know who you are, but they start evaluating kind of what you are, who you are, what you sell, all that kind of thing. And the best way to do that is with results client content. So we see this a lot. You can see this a lot, and sometimes it might be disguised. But if any of you have never heard of social proof, and it's by Cialdini. It's called A Weapon of Influence, and it's proven time and time again that when you have social proof for your product, so whether that's testimonials, case studies, spotlights, reviews, whatever, for your product or your service, social proof for your product or your service, that it is much easier to actually start making the sale, because it allows people to evaluate what your processes are, what your products are, and actually takes them from kind of evaluation to actually buying. So what you want to really do, and the kind of the goal of the results content, is really playing to people's pains. So helping people understand where people who use your product or service were at when they started with you, and now where they are, the kind of the result, what you're striving for. Because if you can start making people understand what results you can get them, it makes the sale become super, super easy for you, okay? So that's influence. That's how you start influencing people, because it almost inspires them because they see these results and they want to take action. Intimate content. So some of you are probably wondering, okay, what the heck is intimate content? But this is what I've worked with for the past 4 years with my clients, and has allowed for amazing success. And this is intimate content is where your personal brand comes in, okay? This is what makes you you, what makes your business the way it is, because at the end of the day, people buy from a brand, not a business. Write that down. People buy from a brand, not a business. They want to feel a relation to a brand. They want to feel super connected. So you want to start sharing content, especially if you're the face of your brand, that people can relate to you on a personal level. See, as you can see here, I have some photos, and people engage on these all the time. I love going back to my parents' ranch. I love hiking. This allows people to get to know me a bit better. So I'm not just some person, a robot, talking about business all the time, but I also have a life that people can relate to. So this is where you can kind of target down your unique selling point. Maybe if it's for your product, sharing kind of personal stories around that. But this is how you can get your personal brand to really shine through. The final pillar kind of the ACE framework is sales content. So this is where you actually sell to people. And what I like to say with this is, if you can master attraction, influence, and intimacy with your audience, sales are going to be so easy. And I've experienced this. A lot of clients have experienced this with high conversion and high closing rates, because they already know, like, and trust you, and you've moved them down that funnel, that buying from them is super easy, and it's not even that hard of a decision. So with your sales content, you want to start by considering, what are you offering, what is your transformation, and why people should buy. Because at the end of the day, without sales, you don't have a business, because there's no cash flow, okay? So people want to know what you're offering. Share that offer with people. Don't be afraid to share, because if you're constantly giving value with those other 3 types of content, sharing an offer is not a big deal, because people don't see that you're selling all the time. But when you do make that offer, they're super excited, because they've been watching you, they've been attracted to you, and now they're ready to purchase. So I just kind of put an example on here for my sales content, which helps me sell a lot. So with my personal branding photography work, I tell people I can take you from this vision board, which I created, and I can actually execute. This is my offer. I actually execute what we dream of, what we make on a vision board, and actually execute it in real life, okay? So that's just some, like, you can use visuals, you can explain what you're offering. There's tons of different ways, but if you can start integrating, you need to integrate sales content within your other types of content, okay? So if you can do that, amazing. So we have the frameworks, the ACE framework, but now how do we get our content ideas, okay? And this is the golden question I get from people all the time. And how do you get content ideas that speak to your audience? How do you even know what to write? This is a question I get all the time. And so today I want to answer that for you, because I believe there's a few steps we can take. So before we begin that, though, I want you to understand kind of content clustering. This is an amazing tool. So write this down, content clustering. This is an amazing tool that you can start utilizing to actually start creating content around an idea. And what I like to do is have a circle in the middle, and it's a core topic, and I usually like to say this is based on an offer, and you have a bunch of subtopics around that you're going to talk about. And like I said, you can use the ACE framework, the attraction, the influence, the intimacy, and the sales content to drive people into your offer. So this is super, super powerful for starting to map out your content. So for some of you, you like real life examples, so I created one for you. Here's how I do it. So this is how I use clustering. So I'm launching a course, Instagram for Business, October 15th. We start October 15th. I'm launching it. And I know because of my research and what people ask me all the time, I know what types of content I need to start creating and what kind of trainings I need to start creating to actually start driving people to my offer. I have 3 steps to create engagement, how to monetize your Instagram, how to use hashtags. There's tons of things I have kind of mapped out. But we get to see here in this real life example that it's not that hard to actually kind of start coming up with ideas, especially if you have a good foundation. You have that good foundation and you know what you're offering and the problem you're solving, you can start creating the content with clusters around that, okay? So that's an amazing tool you can start using to generate content for any offer that you're going to be offering in your business. So another thing is, okay, so we have the types of content, the ACE framework, what we need to be using. We know how to cluster it and around a core product, but now people are like, okay, well, people have problems with the subtopics around the cluster. And this is a gold page, you guys, so write these down. Do you struggle with ideas? Here we go. What are common questions people ask about your offer or business? And this is the first question I ask to anyone I'm coaching on with content creation. And if they can't tell me what people ask them, there's 2 reasons. One, they don't have a foundation, a good foundation. So people don't even know what they sell or offer, so people don't even ask them questions. Or 2, you have an amazing foundation, have explained it, and you use all the content super well that people don't even ask you questions. So you should be generating tons of sales because people understand what you're offering and they should be going down. So it's one of those 2 things. So if people aren't asking questions, you kind of have to consider that. But if people are asking you questions, and I know customers ask you questions all the time, you can start creating content around the questions that they ask you. And it's genius because you're creating content that people in your audience, people who are interested in buying from you, you're creating content around that allows their questions to be answered before some even think to ask. So if that makes sense, you want to start creating content around the questions people ask, because if they're asking it, they'll probably read an article, they'll probably read a piece of content before actually reaching out for most customers. So that's something you need to consider. What are competitors doing? So what are kind of other people in your niche doing? I'll show you how you can research this in a second. What are people talking about? You can look at book reviews, going on Amazon and seeing what questions people are asking. Looking at discussion pages on like Quora or Reddit. Tons of different ways to generate content. And then my final one is, what type of content are you inspired by? This is probably one of the most important. What do you get excited about creating? What do you get excited about talking about? Because if you can start rating ideas down of what you get excited about, you can start creating content if it matches your offer. So have a book with you, and maybe you have it beside your bed or wherever, that you rate ideas that you get and that pop into your head. Okay, so this is how we can research competitors, and this is funny. I just gave this talk similar to Chicago, and someone came up to me and said, just this resource alone was worth my whole ticket price, me coming here all day. So I was like, okay, this is amazing. I need to share this with more people because a lot of people do not know about it. Buzumo.com, write that down. You can analyze what content performs best on any topic or competitor, as it says in the topic at the top of the page there. So you can take a topic that's in your niche, type it in there, press go, and the results will be amazing. So for the purpose of today, I did content marketing, and the idea is how to never run out of content ideas again. And that's just one of the things that popped up. 10 grammatical errors that damage credibility. This just shows you that by total engagement, so what's popular on Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest, all that, the different types of things people are writing about that you can start getting ideas from. So you can see that it performed well. People really clicked on it. So you know it's kind of a proven piece of content. And now you can start taking these ideas and making them your own. So you can, if you spent even an hour just researching your competitors, certain topics in your niche, you can come up with tons and tons of ideas and then start making them your own. So I don't want to have any excuses. Oops, pop up. I don't want to have any excuses for if you can't find content, because this is literally a foolproof way. So if you need content ideas, Boozumo.com. Okay, so now we have the ACE framework. We know how to content cluster. We know how to get ideas. How do we put this all together? And what I like to call this is batching content. So write this down. I have the offer, I have my content title, content type, delivery, buyer's journey stage, and I put this all in an Excel document so I can start creating content and making a storybook. Essentially, that's what I like to call it, a storybook, chapter by chapter, of how I'm going to work people down that funnel that I talked about earlier, from the awareness to actually evaluating you to actually buying. So I take what I took in that content cluster. So I have my Instagram for Business course I'm launching. The content title is how to monetize your Instagram. This is an attraction, so I'm educating people. I'm going to deliver on the platform of Facebook Live because I know my audience is on there and people are going to be aware. So that's my chapter 1. Chapter 2, how my client generated $10,000 from Instagram. This is the results. People are going to be want to be influenced by what they're aware of already. I'm going to deliver it with a case study. This is where my client was. This is where they are today. And this is the evaluation piece. So as you can see, you can start mapping out your content and mapping out a journey of people to go through content pieces to actually start buying your offer. So when you can start organizing this, and you can do this depending on how you work, you can do this in one day and you could have all your content planned out for a month. You could do this for maybe an hour to 3 hours on Mondays or Sundays, so you have your content for the week. But if you can start taking the frameworks, the ideas, and putting them together like a storybook, I guarantee you, if you're consistent with your content, pretty much 99% guarantee you that people will start asking and reaching out to you about your product or your service. Trust me, I've seen it with all the people I've worked with. So I want you to also understand that you can repurpose your content, okay? And for those of you who don't have never kind of been exposed to that before, it's taking a piece of content that you've created and actually changing it into different forms. So for example, I have a live video that I did here on Facebook. And what I actually did was take this and turn it into a blog post. Or I can take this blog post, as I've seen here now with the dates from 2016, and actually turn it into a live. So it kind of go back and forth, but you can take one content piece and repurpose it into tons of different types of content pieces. And what it does is save you time. So if you could take one major video, for example, so I have a 30-minute video. If I could take that and turn little pieces of it into a Facebook post, another piece into a blog post, another part of it, maybe I can strip the audio and turn it into a podcast. There's tons of different ideas that you can be doing with this, okay? But I want you to understand is, do not be scared of people hearing your same message over and over, because I get people asking me about that all the time. Well, if I repurpose, if someone's already seen it, what will they think? Well, what I got to say to that is, if people are seeing your message over and over and over, it's going to establish you as an expert in your industry. When people get questioned about certain things, you're going to be the first person that pops in their mind, because you constantly talk about it, you're constantly putting content out there, and they've seen it in the video, they've seen it in writing. So I really want to emphasize and stress the importance of how repurposing can be amazing for your content strategy. So some things I really, really want you to consider. I want you to start setting goals that are measurable. So imagine if you knew that 1,000 people visited your website, that 50 of those converted into leads and 15 of those converted into customers. So now we can start understanding, and maybe if you're just starting out, you can kind of see and play with this, but imagine if you knew that you need X amount of pieces of content. So we create that content batching, and with maybe 100 pieces or even 10 pieces of content, we're going to drive 100 people per piece of content onto a site, which allows us to get 50 leads, so kind of 50 people who are actually interested in what we talk about, which allows us to generate 15 customers. So imagine if you started to know these numbers and know that if you create X amount of pieces of content, it gets you X amount of people, X amount of leads, and X amount of customers. Your business starts to have predictability month over month. And then you can know that if you double these numbers, if you triple these numbers, this is how you increase your bottom line. This is how you get more cash flow into your business. So if you're not measuring right now, I really urge you to start measuring. You can do this with like your website clicks. You can see on if you have a business page on Facebook, you can see how many people engage with it. So there's tons of different things, okay, that you can start measuring your content and actually putting numbers to it. And I really, really, really stress the importance of this if you want to start having predictability in your business. Another thing too is test, and then you want to audit, okay? So you're going to put content out there. There's going to be some that doesn't perform well. There's going to be some that performs super well. So you want to start testing to see what your audience loves. So I put some screenshots of my Instagram up here, okay? So I can see from this that approximately from this post, 16 people visited my profile. This post got actually around almost 1,400 people visiting and had a bit more likes, which I'm like, I don't really care about likes, the vanity metrics. But what I see from this post, it got less likes, less reach, but more people visited my profile. And what I can kind of refer to that, infer from this, is my written content piece people were very interested in, so it made them click on my profile. With this one, it got more reach probably because more people were interested in the visual, but not as much profile visits. And for me as a business, I want profile visits because I can turn those profile visits into link clicks and get those people into my email list, Facebook group, or drive them to my offer. So I want you to start testing. Like I said, having those goals that are measurable, testing them, and then auditing. Because what you can start doing is repurposing using ACE. So when you test things and you kind of know where things are, you can adjust content maybe that's not getting good traction. So maybe it's your copy, maybe it's your imagery, maybe it is your headline, so it's not catchy enough that people want to click on it. But you can start taking what you know and what you've audited and tested and adjusting it to make content that actually works. You can also combine content. Maybe you have a bunch of different ideas or ideas that complement each other, and actually combine them to make an amazing piece of content that fits into the ACE framework, the attraction, the influence, the intimacy, or the sales content. Or you can expand on a niche idea. So you have an idea of a content piece, and maybe it was small in one piece, but people really liked it. So you expand on it, and you make tons of different content pieces for it. So by doing this, having goals that are measurable, kind of seeing where people are engaging by testing and auditing, you can start seeing how you can repurpose using ACE and actually creating even better content that speaks to your audience. Number 4, the most important, if you take anything from today, I want you to take this slide home from you. I want you to never stop creating, okay? I put the pictures of all these amazing people for a reason on here, okay? If they stopped putting their message out there, if they started worrying more about what people thought of them, if they stopped getting visible, they would not be where they are today. They would not be at the Emmys gifting suite with all these major stars sharing their product. They would not be a multi-millionaire. They would not be featured by Nike and Gary Vee. They would not be getting up on that TEDx stage. They would not be making 6 figures while traveling. So I just want to stress the importance of never stop creating. You're going to have content pieces at first that might not get a lot of traction, but if you're always creating, if you're always moving forward, and if you're always sharing your message, you will be able to achieve great things. As you can tell, I'm fired up because it excites me, because I see when people create and are consistent and have a message to share, what it can do for them. And these are real people like you and I that have been able to leverage the power of content, the power of platforms, and the power of connecting with people with their content to do amazing, amazing things. So I just want to stress the importance that you can do this too with these frameworks that I gave you. But you can never, never, never stop creating. I want you to write that down. Bold levels, bold letters at the top of your page. Okay? We got that understood? You can do anything you want. It's just being consistent, showing up, and constantly creating. So, my challenge to you guys is I want you to clarify your foundation. So some of you might have a business and want to refer back to that and kind of see where you're at. Some of you might not have no clue. So I want you to start clarifying your foundation and create a cluster. And once you have your foundation, and maybe you already do, start creating a cluster around a product or an offer like we talked about. I want you to take these then, get ideas, batch at least 3 pieces of content, and tag me them, post them on your Facebook page or on your blog, send it over to me and tag me. I would love to see it. I will engage on it. Because what I will tell you is I can give you all these frameworks, I can talk to you, but if you don't implement this, it's going to do nothing for you. It's going to drive no sales to your business. People aren't going to be reaching out. So if you take these frameworks, show up consistently, and start creating these frameworks and content around an offer, trust me, you will be able to do and sell whatever you want. So these are my challenges for you today. Write them down, go out and do them. I would love put this into action for this week. It's Sunday today, so you have a full week to be able to do this and put this to action. I challenge you to do it, okay? So we have created the content. Now, how do we distribute it? So today we learned of how we can use the ACE framework, attract, influence, intimacy, and sell, how to actually cluster those together, and then how to take those clusters and start getting ideas, and then batching those ideas almost like a storybook to move people down your funnel to actually buying from you. So we know how to create this content, but now how do we distribute it? Content is king. What is queen? Distribution. Or whatever, depending on what you believe. Maybe content is queen, king is distribution. Whatever it may be, you need a way to get visible for people. So I get questions about this all the time. I'm creating content. How do I get more people to see it? And what I have created and what I'm going to offer you guys is an amazing course, Insta Success, the 4-week program to grow your audience and monetize your Instagram. So we know how to create the content, but now how do we reach more people who want to hear your message? Instagram is an amazing, amazing place to do it. I've been able to build a global brand, but from Instagram, people reach out to me all the time wanting to work with me. I've helped clients create global brands, help brand deals, generate clients from their Instagram. So I wanted to start teaching people because they know how to do it, but now they know how to create content, but now how do you actually distribute it? Instagram. Turn your Instagram into a lead generating machine for your business. What are we going to learn? We're going back to that FBS method I love. Foundation, optimize your Insta account for success. We're going to get you visible, create content your following loves, and grow an audience who will actually buy from you. Because I know nowadays there's tons of people, I know people with hundreds of thousands of followers who make nothing from their Instagram. I'll be honest with you, I have 9,600 people, but I'm generating thousands of dollars every month because I have an amazing community of people around me that I am able to sell to and that love my message and my content. So you don't need a large following to make thousands of dollars from Instagram. So we're going to teach you how to get visible and then actually sell and monetize your Instagram, because if you're on there, you might as well be making it do something for you and driving sales and getting customers for you. So I'm going to teach you all of that. What will you learn? How to optimize your Instagram, so the difference between the personal and the business, how to create the bio, how to create an amazing profile that people want to click on. Module 2, create content that sells and gets you noticed. I'm a brand photographer, so I'm going to teach you how to take photos with your iPhone. You don't need an expensive camera to create photos with your iPhone, to edit them, and then how to create captions and content that people are super interested in reading and actually drive to your profile and click on your link. How to grow your audience, so how to get engagement, how to use viral strategies, how to use the hashtags, everything to grow your audience of people who will actually buy from you. Then monetizing Instagram, how to take people off Instagram and actually onto a sales page, onto a checkout. You're also going to get some amazing bonuses, Instagram apps that are must, take the guesswork out of Instagram strategy for personal brands, all these different things, different strategies for local business, products. So it's going to be packed full of learning, okay? And what does it include? 4 modules packed full of learning. That's 3,000 for 1-hour live calls. So I'm actually going to be showing up in a live private Facebook group with you, and I will be answering questions 4 times, so 1 hour per week in this 4-week program on anything you have questions about for your Instagram, or maybe it's about sales, or maybe it's about content creation. I'm going to be there for you to answer your question, and 4 awesome bonuses. So when people pay to work with me privately, this would cost them $5,800, okay? Because it's very comprehensive. But because I'm going to do a group program, you do not have to pay that price. It's pay in full, $547. I really highly suggest this because when you do, you get a free 1-hour, 30-minute strategy session with me. Or you can, if money is kind of a struggle for you, you can do 2 payments of $297, one up front and then one charged to your card later. So the value, you guys, is insane. You're getting all my coaching, all my knowledge. I spent thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours learning the platform, learning content, and how to actually leverage it to make sales. So this is going to be awesome for you if you want to learn it quickly and if you want to start implementing today. And a thing I will say is you might have someone in your business that maybe you don't like social media, so you want someone in your business to run it for you. Well, I'm going to tell you that if you buy that, I will allow you to have one person run through it with you, okay? That is in your business, because I believe that sharing knowledge should be shared, okay? And I believe if you're not an expert in something, you should give it to someone else who is. So if you can be the medium of giving someone this amazing content, I'm going to allow it. So this is not for you if you strive for the vanity metric. If you're only worried about likes and follows, not for you. This course will not be for you at all. If you don't want to put in the work, and if you think this is a quick and easy way to start making money, because I will break it down step by step. I will give you all the amazing strategy over the shoulder, but it takes long-term implementation, okay? So now that we have, this is not for you. This is for you, though, if you are someone who has a product, a service, and a message that can change someone's life or business. You just need a platform to reach them. So we'll go over the content creation. We'll go on how to structure an offer. And then we'll utilize Instagram as a platform to actually start selling. This is for you if you want to build an amazing community of fans, because fans over followers. And this is for you if you're in it for the long run and want strategies you can apply every single day to generate customers for your business. You can do this alone, like I said, or you can learn from someone who's done it. I've spent thousands of dollars, hundreds of hours figuring this out. Instagram is probably one of the hardest things to crack, but I'll just show you some people who worked with me. Megan, she grew her list for high ticket sales. She consistently gets 1,800 people driven to her profile and grows her email list for her high ticket sales, which she launches and sells for thousands and thousands of dollars, her high ticket sales. So she grows her list and converts people on her list into paying customers. That traffic comes from Instagram. All eyes on Shelby. Shelby's post went semi-viral, landing her 8,000 page views. Imagine having 8,000 people coming to your business in one day, and it has allowed her to get talks for major brand deals worth thousands of dollars. Or Jamie, clients booked directly from Jamie's Instagram. So Jamie's audience size doubled for her local business, and she consistently every day generates clients from Instagram because people see her work, people see she's amazing at what she does, so they reach out to her. So I just want to show you that it works. It's amazing. It has done wonders for people in their business. I've also had another amazing client, Heather. So maybe your feed kind of looks like this. It's kind of all over the place and people don't know exactly what you're selling or what you're offering. We reconstructed this. Look at it now. This is amazing. People know what they're selling, what she's selling. And it has allowed her Instagram, she does live webinars like me. It allows her to pack out her webinars every single time she offers one. And what she does from those webinars, she sells. So again, We can do tons of different things with your Instagram. You're going to learn it all. We start October 15th, 2018. But if you enroll within the next 48 hours, so by Tuesday, I will throw in a free 30-minute session, content session, strategy session, whatever it may be, whatever your business needs. I will throw that in for free. People pay hundreds of dollars for me to teach them. I just wanted to add it on as an extra bonus because if you sign up, you'll get access to that private Facebook group and you'll get a content session with me right away. So I can help turn those results with you right away in your business. So I will see you there. I'm so excited. I'm so glad you were on this live webinar with me today. I really appreciate you coming out and learning, and I believe what I taught you with that content, you can take and apply in your business and truly change your life, okay? I'm going to leave you with this. There are people who need to hear your message. Share it fearlessly. There's people who need what you're offering, whether it's a product or a service. Share your message with them consistently. Never stop creating. Share it fearlessly, and trust me, the results will be amazing for you. Now, if you have any questions for me, email me, reach out on Instagram, or find me on Facebook. I want to thank you guys so much for attending, for showing up, and I really appreciate you. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Join my free Facebook group. I'll be doing a bunch of training in there. But I want to thank you, and I hope you have an amazing Sunday, and I'm excited to see you implement this into your business. Have an amazing day.